And welcome back to the Wudder Boys podcast, quenching your thirst for quality sports content. I'm your host, Nikki Signoretta. It is Monday, September 21st. I'm here with my three co-hosts, as usual. Luke, Justin, Og, and apparently Jake, too.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up?
Luke, what are you feasting on?
Some nuts.
Are your nuts a bit dry? Do they make you thirst for quality sports content, may I ask?
I might do.
Oh, well, let's get right into that content. Luke, can you start us off with a question?
Who is the most overrated athlete of all time?
Here, can I go first? Can I go first? I want to piss off Justin.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to, in the late 90s, a player came out of North Carolina, the college, Chapel Hill. He was drafted to the Toronto Raptors. His name is Vince Carter. Now, I think Justin likes Vince Carter a lot.
Wrong. You're just
I kind of realized
wrong.
Vince Carter's just overrated. And I nearly went with his teammate Tracy McGrady on this one because he's also pretty overrated. Don't get me started. But Vince Carter, I know he had 8 All-Star appearances, but I'm not sure if he ever made the NBA first team. He was never a threat to actually win a championship. Like, did you ever think the Vince Carter Raptors or Nets were winning a chip? Yeah, I don't think so.
They were sick.
Young generations will glorify him because I don't know why they like that Raptors jersey for some reason. And then he wins a dunk contest, and apparently he's like the second coming of Christ. But he's Vince Carter. He didn't win anything. So I only think winners are good in my book. You need to win and you need to do stuff. Vince sort of did stuff, but that's it.
All right.
Get Justin fired up.
Strongly.
Overrated.
Now I have to think because you got me fired up about freaking Vince. Damn.
Overrated. I'm gonna go with.
Do any of you three have an idea?
I'm struggling. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Someone that I feel is overrated. I don't know if he's the most overrated of all time.
Justin, shoot. Keep us moving.
Kwame Brown. No, I'm just kidding. Screw Kwame Brown. I'm gonna go with a man that went to Syracuse University, played basketball there for a few years.
Oh my god.
Was a good scorer, but never really did anything that I consider to be anything special.
Yeah, I
Mr.
agree.
Carmelo
Thank you.
Anthony.
I also agree, Melo's
So a little background for Wudder Boys fans here about what Justin's referring to. Nikki is a massive Melo fan, and Justin is a massive Vince Carter fan. So we got a little mano-y-mano going on here.
Melo's like a fandom, like when, what's his name? When J.R. Smith got signed to the Lakers this year, you were happy that J.R. Smith was signed into the league because J.R. Smith is such an idiot himself. Carmelo's so stupid. I never want Carmelo on my team, but I like that he's in the league. Anyway, Justin, continue on saying why I agree he's overrated.
He was always a really good scorer, but he's like Westbrook, where his teams never really went anywhere. They never won. He never proved to me that he was an elite scorer, but he couldn't play defense for his life, and his teams never won. So he's kind of got the Vince Carter complex where he looks like a good player, but I never thought Melo was that great. Also, our editor has just texted us that his pick was Jeremy Lin.
That was my pick
for
too.
one season, and
that was
that's about it.
I
Really? All right, Luke. Well, you can elaborate on the Jeremy Lin pick.
No, I was gonna change it now because his name was already brought up. I got somebody better though. No, but I want Augie to go first. I gotta go last.
I got a pretty good one. I'm gonna go with Dominic Brown, former Phillies outfielder. Every time he came up to the big leagues, everyone said, yeah, this kid's going to be sick. And then he sucked. And then it happened, multiple more times where he would get put down. He'd hit, 350. They're like, yeah, he's sick. And then he'd come up and hit, 120. So I'm going with Don Brown.
Jeremy Lin, by the way, won one more championship than Vince Carter, Carmelo, and Dominic Brown combined. I'm fairly certain. So just to give you guys some context on
Jeremy Lin's the greatest basketball player of all time. He's literally.
I disagree with that one. He's not overrated. That would require someone to rate Jeremy Lin. But anyway.
All right, Luke, what was your secondary pick?
So I was considering talking about the best Czech hockey player of all time, Jaromír Jágr. But I've actually decided to move away from hockey and move to a much better sport, golf. In my opinion, one of the most overrated athletes, if you want to consider golf an athletic sport, which I mean, that's a different conversation for another day. I hate Greg Norman. I hate Greg Norman with my entire being.
Really? The shark.
The man had a bigger choke at the Masters than Jordan Spieth, and I'll talk about another choke later.
Jordan Spieth's choke was pretty big.
It was pretty big, but Greg Norman's was on a much bigger level. Greg Norman, at least in my opinion, never won anything, relevant. So, and he somehow managed to get his own clothing line out of it, which makes no sense to me.
All right.
Marketing, baby.
Yeah.
So, that was a question with the boys. Luke, good question. Always provide quality questions.
I know, right?
Now we transition to our actual sports. The National Basketball Association.
That's me. Yeah.
If you wanted to be you, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can talk about the Eastern and Western Conference Finals as they are starting. Well, before we get to that, just some quick news in the NBA. The NBA has elected that they will be doing the NBA draft. The date that they have selected is Wednesday, November 18th. Very excited for that. We'll definitely put out an episode where we talk about sort of a mock draft idea when we get a little bit closer to the draft idea. And the NBA has chosen its league MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, in an absolute surprising landslide. I think it was like 64 to 16 or something like that.
We have talked about this before.
Oh, great.
It's the definition of the MVP. Is the MVP the most valuable player or the best player?
It's the most valuable player. It's in the name.
It's not called the best player award.
If it's the most valuable player, then they didn't vote the wrong person because he was the most valuable player in basketball.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
He wasn't the best. He was the best
player in basketball, the best overall player in basketball, then obviously LeBron James would have been the correct pick. But LeBron was a little pissed off. He was a little pissed off, and it showed as we head to the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers are leading the Nuggets 2-0. It's an absolute obliteration.
Nuggets should have won game 2.
Nuggets should have won game 2.
Anthony Davis had an absolute miracle.
Anthony Davis for 3.
He put up a prayer. Yeah. It didn't help that Mason Plumlee went under a pick for some godforsaken reason. Like that.
That's what that Duke education will do for you. But anyway,
oh my God.
Yes. Lakers take game 1 by a lot. It was an absolute smacking. And game 2 should have gone to the Nuggets. 3 seconds left on the clock. Lakers get a pass in. Anthony Davis takes a 3 from the left-hand elbow and drills it as they're down by 1 to put them up by 2 and win that game at the buzzer. Big news around. They were saying that he was mouthing Kobe as he shot it or something like that.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He's like, I don't want to lose in the Mamba jerseys. Great respect to Kobe. This series should be, I think that this series could be a sweep, and I think it will. That's my prediction. I think this series is a sweep. I think the
Nuggets win a game. I bet you the Nuggets win a game.
The Nuggets, they're not going to win the series now. They went down 2-0. If they'd won this, or the last game, they still had a chance.
Well, they won a series they were down 3-1 in. So
yeah, they've won 2 series now. They were more competitive than I ever would have thought. I didn't think they were ever going to compete in any of these games, and they were one really good shot away from winning a game. So I don't know, maybe something
could happen.
Give us something, please. I hate the Lakers.
Yeah. One interesting thing about this one is we're seeing some older veterans playing pretty well. You saw some good gameplay out of Dwight Howard, some really good defense, and a couple nice baskets.
Okay.
He had like 13 points in game 1 or 2. I forget which one. And Rondo with some highlight plays out of nowhere coming off injury. You know, his numbers always elevate in the playoffs. And I mean, if Rondo can play even close to like 2000 and what was it, like 10 when he was like really good. If he can play anywhere close to that and score the basketball, that team is scary because he's a huge
Be
piece
at
to them
all a
if he can
threat to
play well.
score basketball.
Yeah. But
now to the
heading
East.
back over to the Eastern Conference. This series is at Game 3. They've got one extra game in because Western Conference went to Game 7.
They're at Game 4, Justin.
They're at Game 4?
Yes, it's 2-1.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. I talked about this earlier, and I completely screwed it up again. They're at Game 4. Heat lead 2-1 in the series. And it looked like the Heat might pull off a sweep until the other night. The Celtics finally grabbed one. The Heat have been absolutely dominant in the bubble. It's a surprise to me about how well they've been playing. I knew they were good, but I didn't think they were this good. They've been playing really well. You've seen a lot of really good play by Jimmy Butler. Goran Dragic has been scoring the ball really well. Some awesome play from Adebayo. He had a game-winning block in Game 1.
Game-winning
Absolutely.
stuff.
One of the best blocks I've ever seen. I'm going to throw it out there right now. One of the best blocks I've ever seen.
Colin, any shot that we can throw a quick clip of that block in, because that ball was literally almost
or just a picture. If you can get a
halfway
picture,
into just a picture. Like
Just
it's
a
like
picture.
almost in the basket.
Bam
Like
Adebayo with the
Bam's
left
hand was
blocking
wrapped all the way around.
blocking a
So-
literal
Yeah.
tomahawk by Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was
Yeah.
trying to break the backboard.
Yeah.
Holy-
Yeah, he's
that was a
speaking
heck
of
a
Tatum.
block.
He's been awesome lately in the bubble. I really don't.
Yeah,
I
a
hate
lot better than
seeing.
Markel Fultz.
Oh yeah. I don't want to talk about the Sixers. I don't want to talk about the Sixers and how bad
we're done with them.
draft.
I agree.
Don't talk about Markel. He's
but-
great.
Keep moving.
The Celtics have been awesome in the bubble, but they just haven't been able to finish against this Heat team. They swept the Sixers, which is, whatever. The Sixers suck. But they've been playing really well. Jason Tatum's been awesome. Jaylen Brown's been awesome. Kemba's been awesome. The big three has been playing out of their minds. And one of the X factors for this team lately has been Marcus Smart, who's been playing really, really well, hitting threes and playing lockup defense. I think without Smart, this series is a sweep. I think Smart is one of the things keeping them in this series.
It's possible.
just-
We just gotta wait for more games to be played. Honestly, I haven't called
Yeah.
much this series.
Right now they're at 2-1. They've got another game coming up, and I think if the Heat take it 3-1, I think the Heat
not a
take Game
shot.
5, and I think it's over. I think if the
Especially
Celtics
with the locker room issues that were.
the Celtics have been having some locker room issues. There was a fight between Brown and Smart. They had to be pulled away from each other after Game 2. They were really upset with each other. I think if the Heat are a team that plays off momentum, and they've shown it the entire way through the bubble. I think if they take 3-1 and they can look at that series going, we just have to win one more game. Game 5 is it. It's over. But if the Celtics can take 2-0 and steal that momentum and take it away from the Heat don't have like a star. Like they do have a star. They have Jimmy Butler, but like they don't have Kemba and Tatum and Brown. Like they have a bunch of players who work really well together. So I think the Celtics could take it if they bring it back to 2-2. That's just my personal opinion.
Anything could happen. It's
Yeah.
not. There's not home games. There's not away games. It's just you. In essence, you go to a court and you just play. So
Home court advantage, bro. The Miami should win Game 4. They're playing with home court advantage. I don't understand how they.
I don't know.
how-
No. They're not playing with home court advantage. The
Miami
Magic are
went
playing-
in. Miami went in and won 2 games on the road. That's why I think they're gonna win this series because they looked great.
can it?
They
Whatever.
stole 2 games.
Markel
on the road.
Fultz, one of Nikki's prized Pac-12 athletes, right, Nikki?
Pac-12, is that a college division?
Get to
I
that.
think we
later.
could
Get to
I
that.
think we
later.
could move on to
Yeah.
a different sport. Speaking of,
College
not a different
basketball.
sport, but still basketball. But we're talking college basketball, aren't we, Nikki?
Yes, very excited.
Alright.
After we got ever so slighted, but reasonably, out of our glorious NCAA tournament, the NCAA has set their restart for November 25th. That's right around Thanksgiving. And I'm not sure. Usually they have a whole bunch of Thanksgiving tournaments around then. No idea. I think they've announced plans for some, but obviously things are tending to change in these days, 3 months out. But the big tournament, also really far out and tentative to change, is supposed to happen 2021 March Madness. But until it doesn't, who knows?
Until it doesn't. Lol.
Yeah.
That would be rough.
Knock on wood. It's happening. It's happening.
Until it
Things are
doesn't.
moving.
Until it
Things are
doesn't.
moving towards good. Things are moving towards good.
I agree that things are moving
We've
towards
had basketball. We have football this season. Like things are looking up. So any college basketball that can be played that I can go to or at least watch on TV for my Hofstra Pride, which are going to the tournament again this year.
I guarantee you they don't go to the tournament this year. I guarantee. I can personally
don't.
guarantee it.
I won't.
We made
were
it,
good
and then we
last
got
year.
corona.
They were
Temple
good
not
last.
going either.
Temple
Luke, are you
right
making
here.
some predictions about Temple?
Aaron McKee, dude, he's my boy. Get ready.
No way.
The Owls
Temple's
are
in,
flying this year.
Temple's a 500 team that doesn't even make the NIT.
Owls are flying this year, dude.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Aaron
We'll
McKee,
get
get
there.
ready.
Do some AAC. We'll do the Colt.
So a little AAC. I'll get the AAC segment.
Yeah,
going.
we'll have our. We'll preview all 32 NCAA conferences.
Okay.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Dude, can I get the Northeastern Conference?
Yeah, I got you.
I got the Big Ten.
I got the Colonial.
Oh, I get the SEC by default too.
I'm calling the MAC the
No,
MIAC.
do you?
The MAC with
No,
two A's.
Mac, are you kidding? Mac,
The MAC
Athletics
Mid-American
I
is
MAC.
wanna-
the
All right, no,
Pac-
Nikki, you get the Pac-12.
Pac-12.
What do you mean?
And Big
Nikki-
12 as well.
Nikki gets a Pac-12. I get the
Pac-12
Big
is still
Ten.
elite. We'll
I
get
get
to this.
Big,
Anyway,
I'll take Big Ten.
NCAA
and,
is happening. Get
This
hype.
is all in
Mountain
the. This is
West,
all in the future.
Mountain
This is
West,
all
maybe?
Big Ten and
Hype.
ACC for me. Big Ten and ACC.
Get hype. We'll get to it. Lots of sports that are actually happening. NBA about to hit the finals. NHL hit what I would argue is probably save the Super Bowl, my favorite finals that happens every year. The Stanley Cup. I think it's always a thrilling event. This year we have the Dallas Stars, who last took part in the competition in 2000 when they lost in 6 games to the Devils. Their opponent at the Eastern Conference, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who returned for the second time. Well, first time this decade because it's a new decade, but they were in the 2015 finals after they fell to the Blackhawks in what I believe was 6 games. So this Lightning core has been here. Dallas a bit newer, but their core finally breaking through. And Lightning looked to be the favorite, but Dallas came out and handled them thoroughly in game
Wasn't
one.
it 8-1 or something?
3-2. 3-2.
Oh, never mind.
Or 4-1. 4-1.
There we go. I was
4-1.
gonna say 3-2 isn't a handling, Nikki.
No. It was, I think Dallas had 2 shots on goal in the whole third period, and the second one was an empty net score to make it 4-1. But it was shocking. They've totally handled teams that have been incredible offensively. In the second round, they handled the Avalanche, who were red hot, who were coming off 2 7-1 victories to close out their first round series.
They were playing the
Stars stifled
Coyotes.
them.
Let's keep that in mind.
The Stars stifled them. And then they absolutely shut down Vegas, winning that one in 5 games. And game 1, what they've done with the Lightning, there's still a lot of hockey to be played. And the Lightning may, unlikely for game 2, but they may get back their captain, who's pretty much missed the whole entire playoffs, in Steven Stamkos. Unlikely to return for game 2, but at some point this series looks to make a big impact for Tampa.
Hopefully.
And I think Tampa's going to win the series. That's my pick, being right.
Picking the East.
Yeah, I think it's eventually, you're sitting there with a team. Capitals eventually did it 2 years ago. You sit there and watch a team in sports. Just how many times can you ram your head into the wall until you finally break through? And I think this is the Lightning's turn.
You know
I think
that's
the Lightning have it.
Yeah.
I can name another franchise that has continually rammed their head into a wall trying to win a world title, and that would be the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, that's practically what the
So that's
Lightning
what's
won.
happening here. That's what's happening here.
Literally.
I think the Lightning can come back. I don't think that there's anything standing in their way from coming back. It's only 1 game down. This series is brand new.
if you want to parallel, 2 years ago, Virginia fell to UMBC, which is the greatest upset in NCAA basketball history.
God, I picked
But they bandaged
Virginia.
that by winning the
Everyone
national
picked
championship.
Virginia.
So
Okay.
No, I picked
after-
UMBC.
Yeah.
I did an
After,
all upset bracket, so I technically did pick them.
after
die.
No one likes
after the
your work.
Lightning had the greatest hockey upset of all time last year by getting swept after being the President's Trophy winner to a team that has never won a series period in the Blue Jackets. This would, I guess, be the equivalent if the Lightning could bandage this total failure.
The
So,
clapback.
bit of redemption there, and Dallas is a team that's finally broken through. So, who knows? A lot of hockey to be played. And you mentioned the NBA set their draft. NHL set their draft October 9th, October 10th. Be there to see. I cannot remember his name now. There's
someone sick.
There's a definite number one pick I know in the NHL draft. Other than
is he
that,
American or Eastern European?
I had to look this up.
Paulina Gretzky.
I don't think that's correct.
Isn't that Paulina Johnson? But whatever.
Technically, yes. But
technically, yes.
Jaromir Jagr Jr.
These boys are delaying for me. Alexis Zafreniere, something around
Eastern
those
European.
Yeah, he's or a Frenchie. That's a Frenchy sounding name to me.
Definitely is French.
He is the definitive number one overall pick to my knowledge.
He's Canadian.
Like from France at all. But.
He is from Canada, Augie. His name is. If you had the spelling in front,
France, Canada, same thing.
Lafreniere.
Throw the
definitive number one overall
pick.
So tune in October 9th if you want to see the New York Rangers draft him. And that's the end for hockey. Augie, you transitioned us into the MLB, but I had to cut you off. Do you want to pick up?
It was pretty sad. Yeah, I'll pick up the MLB. Obviously, Dodgers looking fantastic. Being on the losing end of the trash can scandal wasn't great for them. So obviously they want to come back and win it this year. But it's been all the same pretty much. Rays, Yankees, White Sox, Twins, A's all clinch a playoff berth. And surprisingly, in there was the Yankees, who at the time of our last recording were sitting around 500. And then they ripped off 10 of 11. So they were able to clinch a playoff spot. And the A's, unfortunately, lose one of their best players in Matt Chapman. He was hitting what? I think he was hitting great this year.
He was awesome. He was awesome this year. I don't know the numbers, but he was awesome.
Let me find 2021 real quick on MLB.com or Baseball Reference. Where is this year? They don't have this year on there. Rip. I think he was. Weird. I'm pretty sure. Regular season this year, he's been okay.
Says he was about 232, but that's probably not right.
Probably not right if it was included, because.
Yeah,
but
it's not right.
He's been an integral piece to an A's team that's been decent over the last couple of years.
That's true. That's true. Obviously, Dodgers, Padres clinching their playoff berths. Dodgers obviously looking to win the World Title this year. Padres, the NL's top contender, with a very fun and young team on the Padres and a tank of a Dodgers team, really. Obviously, there's a week left. What? 7 days until the end of the playoffs? Who can't type?
No, 7 days. Yeah, 7 days is a week.
Until the end of the playoffs?
End of the season until the playoffs.
Yeah, there we go, Nikki. God, this is why we can't let him write this
malfunction.
Good God. All right, so there's a week until the end of the playoffs start at the time of this recording, so it'll be just under when you guys see this. And the playoffs for the MLB are going to take place at Globe Life Field, which is I guess the Rangers' new stadium, because you typed Texans.
Yeah.
God, why do we let him write the script?
Audible with the script. If you want to. Jesus, figure it out yourself, people. My goodness.
And another guy who was maybe ramming his head against the wall trying to win something important was Bryson DeChambeau. If we want to head over to...
Actually, no, hold on. To go back to the MLB real quick, I don't think the Globe Life Stadium is the only place where they're doing the bubble. I think there's a few other stadiums too.
Yeah, I think
check me on that.
Series is in Globe Life.
I think Petco Park maybe.
Yeah, California, I want to say, is where they're splitting it.
Yeah. They're hitting dingers out there. Who else was hitting dingers? Bam, segue.
Yeah, he was hitting dingers.
Re-segue.
Thank
you, Luke.
Re-segue. The longest player on tour this year, Bryson DeChambeau. Surprisingly, I don't know how. Hold on. Let me look at Bryson.
I don't know.
DeChambeau,
as a golf fan, I don't know how he won. I don't think the
on.
golfing world knows how this man won.
Fairways hit.
I don't think
US
Bryson knows
Open.
how he won.
We were all very confused.
This was the weirdest win I've ever seen, but he got his first major, and he did so deservingly with an
Hold on,
extremely
give me a
weird
second.
tactic to bomb it as far as you can. But,
Happy
Yeah,
Gilmore.
Literally
This is
Happy
the
Gilmore,
golf
hold
I
on.
can get
He
behind,
finished
people.
-6.
oh, are you looking up the
Alrighty.
fairway stat?
Yeah, I have it. He hit
It's
23
ridiculous.
of 56 fairways on the
Yeah.
on the
If
tour
you're not a golf fan, that is terrible.
especially
that
for
is
a course
horrible.
like the US Open.
Yeah.
And he won by 6 strokes?
And he
won by
well,
6
Matt
shots.
Wolf, Matt Wolf choked. I'm so sad.
Yeah,
I want
Matt Wolf
to
had
win
a
so
bad
bad.
fourth round.
He had a bad
Damn, my
Sunday.
guy Dustin finished +5. God.
Yeah, winged foot killed.
Which is what the USGA thought that people were going to finish at, and Bryson's just like, no, I'm going to finish at what 6 under. He was at.
finished
Six under.
-6.
He finished 6 under par.
Wolf finished even.
Wolf
Dude, the
finished-
USGA thought they were going to look like a bunch of losers with multiple guys finishing under par, and then Matt Wolf just decided to.
Matt Wolf was playing well. I
Die.
mean, Pat Reed also choked like a dog on
Yeah,
Saturday.
he did. Me and I'm sure everybody else was very happy about that. Patrick
Yeah,
Reed
I
does
think
not
everyone
deserve
was
very
to win
happy
another
about
major.
But yeah, Bryson obviously hitting 41%. And here's a little story about the rough at Wingsfoot. I heard a guy speak with a podcast, and it was one of the greenskeepers, or the groundskeepers per se. And what he said was that before the tournament, he did a little test. He threw 2 balls into a 15-foot area in the rough, and he lost one of the balls. And Bryson, who hit sub half the fairways, won the tournament at 6 shots under par. Like that's
There's also a
madness.
video of a guy taking a 12-ounce can of Arnold Palmer, so this
Oh,
throwing it in the rough, and it disappears. That's how deep this rough was.
disappeared. It
Yeah,
like
it's.
balls disappeared.
I honestly wish they had more U.S. Opens like this. I think the U.S. Open champion should win it like
It should
1 or
It
2
should.
under, if not over. It's terrible golf, but it's fun golf.
It's challenging.
America.
golf.
This is
It's
America.
something that you won't
Just
see.
they can do mini golf courses.
Most
Call it a day.
other tournaments, like guys, like if the farther they hit it, the easier it is because the rough doesn't necessarily punish them as much as it should with how far they're hitting it. Because like most par fours, like you got like your 450 par four guys are hitting driver. They're probably hitting driver 350, and at that point, they don't care if they're 100 yards out in the rough. They'll take 100 yards out in the rough over 150 in the fairway.
Yeah.
Just because the rough won't punish them as much as it should. So.
Except when it's
That's
a foot long.
Except when it's a foot long, even though it was only 4 inches long for the U.S. Open, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Bryson, Mr. Science, finally getting his major win. That was his first, and he's had a good year.
He played lights out. I don't know how he played lights out, but he did, and he deserves it.
One for the history books, indeed.
You know what's another one for the history books, Justin?
Wait, Luke. What's next week's golf event? I'm just curious.
There isn't anything next week, but the next major is Augusta, right?
The new season has started theoretically.
golfer.
Last week the Safeway Open happened. No clue who won that. Don't think anybody.
When can I
important
pick
played
my
in it.
next golf champion?
The Masters in November. Get
This
first
is terrible,
ever
man.
November. I don't know if it's first ever, but
is
it's
the
one
Open
of the
not being
very
played this
few
year?
Masters. I doubt the Open's going to be played this year. I haven't heard anything.
All right. Well, I'm sorry
Ryder
to cut
Cup's
you
been
off.
canceled. Extremely disappointing.
Champion
No.
history. I forget what your segue was. You were really.
Yeah,
hyped
you
on
want to
it.
know? Who else
Get us
made
to that
history?
terrible sport already.
You want to know who else made history? I'm not going to
Exactly.
say his name.
I watched
Colin's
it this
about
week.
to insert a video about what happened in France on Saturday. Colin, take it away.
Are we allowed to talk here?
And I'm going back. And as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen,
My bad.
so we were talking about this earlier. Some of the most overrated moments,
Athletes
and,
and
overrated
golf,
athletes. That's what it
golf
was.
came
In
to
sports
or, I mean,
history.
cycling came to your
Yep.
mind.
Cycling
overrated
came to
athletes.
my mind. The biggest choke jobs. When you think of the biggest choke jobs, you think of Super Bowl 51, Patriots Falcons. Like I said, Greg Norman, dude sucks.
Phil
Terrible.
Wingfoot making
Yeah,
double
Phil-
to lose
yeah.
a tournament.
Yeah.
Rip. Jordan Spieth at the Masters.
In my life, I have never seen a bigger choke job than Saturday at the Tour de France. My man, who I have been I have been proclaiming his name for weeks now. Primoz Roglic. He had a 57-second lead over Mr. Tadej Pogacar. A 57-second lead.
I'm assuming that's big for cycling.
It is massive, especially if you have a time trial. The last stage in the Tour de France, right before the real last stage when they just ride into Paris and everybody's happy and everything. Nothing ever goes wrong in that stage. The last final stage is a time trial. And if you mess up on a time trial, which it never happens, you don't mess up on a time trial. You literally just ride straight. There's nothing to it. But Primoz Roglic decides to not give up 57 seconds. He has to give up over a minute to Tadej Pogacar. He gives up over a minute on a time trial, a flat course, and he loses the yellow jersey on the second to last day of the tour.
So what? He's got to make up 10 seconds on the final leg.
He had to make up a minute now. He had to make up a minute on the final stage, which doesn't happen.
Primoz has to make up. Wait, does Primoz have to make up a minute now?
Well, I should have said this. The tour is over. Tadej Pogacar won. He won the Tour de France on the very last stage. It was insane.
That's unfortunate.
Lance Armstrong has called it one of the best performances he's ever seen in cycling ever.
That guy stabbed.
That guy didn't take steroids.
That's true. That's
I'm talking about Tadej Pogacar, the guy that made up a minute. Something went in his butt cheeks.
Tadej Pogacar made up 57 seconds. Yeah. Nobody knows how he did it. You guys are going to see the video when we plug it in the podcast on YouTube. But the man is the youngest winner of the Tour de France since before World War I. Tadej turns 22 today, the day we're recording this, Monday, September 21st. Do you remember the 21st of September? Well, Tadej Pogacar will.
We might have 50 subscribers by the time we're 22.
Yeah, really.
Maybe. If we get
so just quickly just going over the GC rankings. Mr. Pogacar, congratulations to him, the young man, winning the Tour de France. My boy Primoz Roglic coming in 2. Richie Porte.
Your dude was the French guy that you picked. I can't even remember his name.
He abandoned. He crashed out.
He did.
Richie Porte, who our cycling fans will know, helped out multiple guys. Cadel Evans, Bradley Wiggins, Team Sky. Got the Tour de France.
Do we have cycling
Mikel Landa, a Colombian. 2 Colombians in the top 5 of the Tour de France. Love to see it. As well as Enrique Mas, rounding out the top 5. And then Miguel Angel Lopez at 6. Tom Dumoulin at 7, Rigoberto Urán at 8, Adam Yates at 9, and Damiano Caruso, cousin of Alex Caruso, there at 10. Our sprinting points leader was surprisingly Sam Bennett from Ireland. Peter Sagan was, not that good this year. He's getting older. The polka dot jersey goes to Jez, he's a beast. Youngest rider goes to Jez, he's a beast. Team of the Tour goes to Team Movistar. What a surprise. They've won this award for the past about 15 years. And the most aggressive rider of the Tour goes to some dude that I've never heard of before, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Ladies and gentlemen, Tour de France is over. We'll see you next time.
So is this podcast.
Yep. No, we had to fill a hot second. Luke, you mentioned Alex Caruso.
Oh my god.
Picture of Caruso.
Yeah, I guess. Sure, if that's what you want. No, I was thinking, I never got to mention it when we were talking about the NBA podcast. Guys, if you watch the clip of Anthony Davis's buzzer beater, the possession before the Lakers, I forget who misses a shot. Ball might go out to LeBron, swings up. Top of the key, Alex Caruso is wide open. He rips a 3. But even though he was wide open, I was infuriated watching. Why is Alex Caruso taking your clutch time shot? I would immediately cut him. He's just terrible. I know me and Justin like I know we all like to look at his shot. Why is Alex Caruso taking your game winner from 3
He's the next White Mamba. He's the new Scalabrini.
He needs to wear a toupee when he plays.
No. Caruso is playing well. Don't
But
come on. He's literally the bald Mamba.
I understand the point where, when you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, why is Alex Caruso taking
or Danny Green? You have so many people who are
Danny
better than
Green
Alex.
has been awful. He's been so bad.
J.R. Smith
had moments in his life when he's been clutch. When is Alex Caruso? When have you been Caruso's time to take the game. I don't know.
Y'all are talking about the Lakers, right? You know, he used to play for the Lakers. Bam! Picture of Lonzo.
All right. Well, we have a couple seconds, guys. I'd like to thank you for tuning into the Wudder Boys today.
Don't say it.
We always love the love.
No.
Check out our Instagram, WUDDERBOYS, Wudder Boys. Luke, finish it. You have.
I thought you had something to say about Lev. It's in the notes, man. You've said it every episode.
Lev's giving the ball on door. All right, Luke, finish it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the Wudder Boys podcast today. Your place for quality sports content. On behalf of Colin Leary, our editor, Lanahan, our senator, Jeff Augie, Nicholas Signoretta, and myself, Luke Opilski. We hope you all are staying safe out there. So far, having a great year of sports. Sports are back. It's better than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today, and keep your stick on the